The first bag that I will use for demonstration is Cassie's Cutie, which has a zipper, pocket, and a slip pocket, and it also has a cell phone pocket on the back. Now this is a basic Welt design that you can use, or you may have used on many different applications. So if you've ever done that, then you will understand how this works. We've basically taken our cell phone pocket lining. This is going to form the facing, and it's going to form the lining of it. And if you don't put a extra welt piece in this will show through. So you want that to be pretty. And what you do is you draw a rectangle. And in this pattern it says to draw the rectangle 3 1/4 inches from the top of the fabric. And then on either side of that line, you're going to draw 1/4 inch away. You're going to draw a line. This is going to be your stitching line. Now, to make a regular welt, what you're going to do is be very careful. We measured in 1 1/2 inches from the end. And we put these triangles here because these are kind of a cutting guide for after you have stitched. You want to go ahead and you want to cut those triangles out. This will help to make the facing for the edges of your welt opening and make them really neat. So we would sew all the way around very carefully. Don't overstitch, and reinforce your corners by either shortening your stitch length or doing a little tack stitch right there where you come to the corner. There's going to be a lot of strain on those corners, so you want to be careful that you have those done real precisely and that they are strong at the end. Now I'm going to do something a little bit different with mine because I'm going to put a piece of fabric in here to make the opening closed up. So mine is going to be a little bit different than what you would normally do, but I'll show you how it should look. The other purse that I showed you before had the actual open welt. So I'm going to go ahead and pin this and go ahead and sew. Alright, I've sewed this. Now I'm going to cut along this edge that's this line that's the center line. I'm going to use my rotary cutter on this, but I'm not going to cut all the way to the end. I'm going to just start where my triangle starts and stop where the other triangle stops, and then I'm going to cut the rest of it with the scissors so that I can be real precise and I can get all the way to the corner, not cut the thread, just the fabric. Now I'm cutting through a number of layers of fabric where you would not be doing that. You'd just be cutting through the top and the bottom. So mine's a little bit harder to trim. Turn this around. Okay, so now I have this opening. Now I'm going to tuck my lining fabric that I just sewed. I'm going to tuck it through the hole that I just cut. And I'm going to pull it all the way through. And I'm going to straighten it out on the ends. And if I've sewed it correctly, it's going to form a nice little rectangle opening right here. Now you're going to need to go ahead and pull this out and take it to the ironing board and iron it. And as you can see, I have some little extra pieces of fabric here that are going to close that hole up, which I need to slip through the ends here. I'll do that and then I'll come back and I'll show you what it looks like when it's pressed. Okay, here's my little welt pocket that's almost finished. My cell phone can fit right inside of there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring the piece that's hanging down up, and then it's lined completely also. So what I need to do is I need to bend this back, sew down here, sew down here, and then my cell phone pocket is complete. The next bag I'll be demonstrating is the Cabana tote, mesh tote, which has the inset welt pocket with zipper in it, plus the slip pocket. I'm going to be inserting this zipper, this type of zipper, fashion zipper, 7-inch long, into this fabric as a slip pocket and a zippered pocket for one of the mesh totes. I'm going to use this pink and cream fabric, and I'm going to use this pink mesh, and I need three different pieces of fabric when I'm making each pocket. First of all, I need my outside piece, and then I need another piece that's exactly the same size as this for my lining. You'll see this through the mesh, so it should go with the mesh as well as it can. And then I need one more piece, and this can be a little bit narrower. Now I'm making the width of my bag is 18 inches wide. The mesh comes 36 inches wide, so if you buy a half a yard of it, you can make your tote. It'll be 18 inches square to start off with. So what I have done is, like I did on my other bag, is I marked where I wanted to place my zipper. Now this zipper application is going to be a welt application. I'm going to make a little window in my fabric, and then I'm going to sew my zipper into the little window, so you'll see the zipper teeth, but you won't see the tape so much. And then after I'm finished inserting that, then I'll put the back on it and make the whole unit be a piece that we can apply to the mesh, and then we'll have our inner zipper pocket, and then we'll have our slip pocket that's in the back. So here's how I start out. I've measured that zipper, and it's exactly 7 inches long, so I made my rectangle with about 7 1/8. I added just a tiny little bit on either end, so I have a little bit of room for sewing around these ends. And in order to do this, I need to do my right sides together, centering this on the fabric outside, and then I'm going to sew my rectangle right like that. So I'm going to go to the sewing machine and I'm going to do that, and then I'll show you how we proceed from there. Okay, now I've sewed all around right on my pencil line of my rectangle, and now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cut this. I'm going to use my rotary cutter to cut this center part right on the center line, but I'm not going to go all the way to the edge. I'm going to use a small scissors to cut those corners, and here's the scissors. We'll use this. We want to cut all the way to the corner, but don't cut the thread. It's always hardest to do that last corner. Okay, just that easy. My zipper is installed. Clip this thread here, and you see it's just really easy to get open and closed. And then on the back, it's just nice and neat, sewed around the zipper tape. Now to complete this pocket, we want to take one of the pieces that is the same size as the outside, and we're going to put right sides together like this, and then we're going to sew 1/4 inch across here and 1/4 inch across here, and then turn it, and then we'll have our pocket completed.